we might as well start talking about Rings of Power and how they ghosted Peter Jackson.
That's great. I love this because you wanna introduce the topic that we can say about this?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we saw an article this last week that came out that Peter Jackson says Amazon Lord of the Rings ghosted him. That he was asked to be involved and look at the scripts, and I think they said they asked Fran as well, Fran Walsh.
Not
So they were
Philippa?
like,
Philippa?
they pardon.
Not Philippa Boyens?
The article says that
Oh,
yes,
it's just him and
yeah,
Fran.
yeah. So they're like, hey, do you want to be involved with the show? And they're like, hey, not until I see a script.
I love that. Best. That was the best response I've ever heard about accepting a project. It was beautiful. He said
Yeah.
it's impossible. That's an impossible question to answer without seeing the script, and I'm just like, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. No, I mean,
I'll never forget this.
no, I totally agree. I mean, I Rings of Power has been such an interesting
I'm not even
piece
talking
to
about.
watch.
Yeah, I'm not talking about this like so much. Rings of Power. It's just so silly.
No, no, I know,
There's too
but
much to unpack.
yeah, it's too much to unpack. But we do have to talk about it a little bit because we told people we would. I think the idea that like I get this vibe from this show that they really wanted. At first, they wanted Peter Jackson. At, at one point, they had what's his name, Alan Shippy on board. You know,
Tom Shippy, yeah.
Tom Shippy. That's it. They've got all these people on board who were really. They're trying to get people on board who were really heavily in the first series, the first series of films, and thinking, oh, if we have them on board, if we can use their name, that's really great. That's going to give us the clout that we need to impress people. And
Little did they know.
I just feel like everything that comes out with this show just keeps being. It just sounds worse and worse and worse. It's like, oh, Peter Jackson was ghosted because we didn't send him the scripts after we asked him, or Tom Shippey was fired from the show for reasons unknown. And then you start seeing these these trailers that are just really bad. Like production quality is really bad, and then you start hearing about the script for this show is actually meant to be several ages crashed into one. And I'm just sort of thinking, but they want this epic Game of Thrones sort of dark, gritty Lord of the Rings show. And I'm just sitting here thinking, go to any bookstore. Children of Huron is on every single bookshelf and every single bookstore everywhere. Like that's a dark, gritty story full of sadness and death and
incest.
yeah,
You got it
like
all.
that's your story. Do that. Do something like that if you really want to. But it's like, no, we're going to do
have it say
Sauron,
Lord of the Rings.
And it's like, do we really need a whole show that's sort of cutting up bits from all over the legacy of the not the legacy but the history of this mythical world, and then
and I think
putting it all together like this, like
and I do feel like it's because Tolkien was so precise and like really detailed about what goes where and when, and I heard that if Tolkien watched the Lord of the Rings films, there would be lots of little things that he would be bothered about. So
probably.
he's got a lot of things. It's a thing that he made, and he made it for himself mostly, and you know what I mean. And so like the Tolkien's secondary world, as he calls it, is kind of famous for being so definitive.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it makes kind of sense, because that's what he was thinking about all his life, right?
Yes.
So it's such a disservice to just hack and slash timelines and storylines and put them together and be like, we're gonna do what Star Trek did to the show. We're gonna make we're gonna do the 2009 Star Trek. You're gonna love it. You know what I mean?
We're gonna do Strange New Worlds. It's set before Kirk, and it's gonna mess up everything canonically.
That's kind of how it feels. Yeah.
And I just I don't know. I feel like this show has too many red flags to be excited about.
Dude, the red flags turn into like flaming flags at the moment because like did you see that? You saw the clip. I saw the clip. We all saw the clip.
Yes. I'm
With
nervous
the
I'm nervous to show it because I don't know if we get struck, but there is the
Wuxia moment, the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
Galadriel goes running up towards a troll and she leaps. She's catapulted off of running over someone's swords.
Yeah, baby.
And I saw that, and so I said, I was like, "This is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. What? Why are they doing this? This isn't." I know that Legolas in the original trilogy had some outrageous action scenes. Also, they were the worst things in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like the shield scene, the grabbing of the horse flip around scene, like
the Lumakill scene. That was.
Yeah, it's just I'm like, God, like why
But here we are
doing this?
Here we are.
Yes.
We're back. We're back.
We're back, baby. So Rings of Power reminds me of Disney Star Wars. They're going to spend too much time trying to destroy the past. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know if people like actually set out intentionally to ruin what came beforehand. I think there is a level of maybe narcissism involved where they just people really want to leave their stamp on something. Like I remember feeling that way back when I used to watch Doctor Who. I really admire Stephen Moffat as a writer. I think he was really good with plotting things, but I was feeling towards the end of his run, he was doing things like the War Doctor that I'm like, I think you're doing this just so you can, like, this is your stamp from your era. But like, you've already done Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, two brilliant doctors. Like, you've left your mark, man. You don't need to add to canon. Like, you've done so with these two doctors.
I think there's a lot, and I'm not one to talk about this either because like I haven't experienced it firsthand, but from everything that I've read about filmmaking and politics in the film industry, there is a lot of ego going around, and I think that a lot of people can feel that even if they haven't been there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who are just like, I'm here, I want to put my mark on certain things.
Yeah.
And sometimes, many times, that becomes just way more important than doing anything else. And it's so unfortunate because that's such a poor way of like, having that, you have that privilege to make something that can stand the test of time, and you can make a great story and inspire future filmmakers, future watchers of this media. And you're just like, no, it has to have a statue of me in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that happens, and that's a lot. There's a lot of people working in the film industry, and they don't get big. Many times they don't get big by their creative skills.
Yes.
Either.
I think one of the most important things with franchises like Prey, Predator, Lord of the Rings is when you are the person in charge, like you are shepherding this. Like that means you need to be looking after and taking care of. Not saying, "Hey, that sheep can go."
Take it away.
It's very much a thing where it's like, no, you need to be very, very. This is why I really love the kind of I'm a big fan of Star Trek, and I feel Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and even Enterprise. You really felt that there was a solid vision behind all the shows. Enterprise is a little bit rough, I'll give you that, but solid vision behind all the shows, and you had someone behind the show who was adamant that they were going to ensure that like Gene Roddenberry's vision of the future is maintained throughout. Gene Roddenberry is now here. Rick Berman, I think is his name. Rick Berman is no longer in charge, and look at where we are with Star Trek. It's sad, and I don't want to see this happen to Lord of the Rings. But someone the other day on Twitter said, "Is Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power going to be essentially the Sci-Fi Network's Dune series?"
Oh, geez, yeah, I forgot about that one. I haven't seen
exactly.
It, but I know
exactly.
Yeah.
Pathfinder says, "Did you know that they flew all the top Lord of the Rings YouTubers to meet the show and footage with a Q&A with the showrunner? Was this to try and get them fandom back on the side?" I did not know. I knew that they did some like mega fan things,
Yeah, one of them actually made a video about, which included the audiobook that I did as well. Said
Oh,
nice
weird.
things about it, which is very good. But that's on one of the videos. Yeah, and they just flew them all over there, and I don't know. I have honestly no idea. I have no idea how these things work, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you're honest or not. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of
I think it's hard because we've known for years that, like, you know, reviewers and stuff like that are, they're given a lot of stuff by by the companies, and they like it's easy to be sort of have your palm greased by free flights, free hotel, free food, free inside information. I don't know.
I mean, that happens in any other business too.
It
To be
does.
fair.
It does. So I kind of don't trust. Kind of, I'm cynical. You know, I
Yeah.
like my hard boiled stuff. I'm cynical. I
Yeah. Pathfinder says the Red Book. Yeah, I actually do that for the Red Book YouTube channel, but it was actually Nerd of the Rings that mentioned the audiobooks that I did, which was very nice. It was really cool. Anyway,
yes,
Pathfinder says, I want to love this show so much. That's why RLM reigns supreme.
it's true. It's true. So, Lord of the Rings, we will see. We will watch it. We will probably talk about it in some fashion when it comes out, because how can we not?
How
But
can you not after all this? Especially when
it,
people are going to ask me about it a lot, you know.
yes, yes.
Now that they know where I am, they're going to be like, what'd you think? What'd you think? Because, like, I always get, you know, I have friends, bless them, they do want to send me the next trailer of something and ask me my opinion.
Yeah.
And usually I just go, I don't know. You know, I'm no different to any of you.
We will do a Lord of the Rings show once the show comes out. After maybe an
Sure.
episode or two, we'll do it. We'll do a Lord of the Rings bash. Whether that's a fun bash or a bash,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll see.
At this point, so far, Lord of the Rings this show has going. It keeps going, you know, further down the cliff to me. Like,
yes,
when they initially announced it, I thought, hey, and then they were saying
kind of
second
exciting.
age. Yeah, they were like second age, and I'm like, I'm already thinking like, man, if only they could.
Yeah.
If only they knew I did the audiobook, and then they'll be like, maybe I can ask to direct an episode. You know what I mean? I would have loved to do that. And then I thought that also, like, and then I remember 2019, I was out in like, I was out in the forests of Slovenia, and it was beautiful. And I was just thinking, oh, there's this little stream, and I'm like, oh, you know, like, it's like I could find the ring in the stream, right?
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, what if they did this show, they could have started it at the end of the first stage where they locked up the first Dark Lord Morgoth, and then it's like, and then it could be like a story of like eras, because it takes place.
Yes.
The second age is, what is it, 3,000 years, 2,600, something like that years, and it starts with Morgoth going away, the Valar, the big gods leaving the earth to fend for itself, and ends with the last alliance against Sauron, right? So they have all the rings being made. You have you have the elves and the dwarves being tight mates, and you have all this. You have some great elf characters being really passionate about their craft, and you have Sauron deceiving everyone. And one of the first ideas I had was like, if they're gonna do that, you have constant characters, because there's the elves who are immortal, and you can tell it through their perspectives, and they can see all these eras go by really fast, and we can see that, go through that journey with them, and we can see how like man expands, because like at the beginning of the second age, like the world of men is not as powerful as it becomes at the end of it, because like Numenor is not yet a mighty country, you know what I mean? And this is where the story unfolds. Anyway, sorry, they're not doing that. They're doing wuxia with fighting trolls. What else is Galadriel's having a sword, kicking ass, and going, look, it's Sauron was here, and it's like Sauron was not an eye yet.
Yes. Oh, and her husband is dead. What's his name?
Celeborn.
Celeborn. He's dead.
Damn it! Why did you make Celeborn? Stupid.
Yeah. Rumor is he's dead. So maybe he'll come back to life at some point, but rumor is he's dead.
Very sad.
Or maybe it'll be like he's thought to be dead, and that's why he's not around. But
Who cares? It's all rubbish. It's all rubbish at this point. Like, and